The calm before the storm. So good morning, guys. It looks like the storm will miss us, but I'm sure we're going to get some residual winds and probably some rain. So that is due east, and the storm is heading right now northwest. So it's heading west and north. So the storm is heading this way, but it's definitely north of us. So as you guys know, the typhoons goes counterclockwise. So since it's so far north, we don't feel that we're going to get any wind this way. If we do get any showers, it'll be coming from this direction as it circles that way. So that's the track of the storm. So we're hoping that it stays on its current course, and then it's going to head up north towards the Luzon area, and hopefully it'll miss Luzon altogether. So you can see that the water is not blue today. It's a little silver looking with all the clouds, and I don't think these clouds have anything to do with the typhoon, because it's still over by Guam, and that's pretty far from here. But they are calling it, when it gets closer to the Philippines, a super typhoon, possibly a Category 5. So that is a very big storm. So everyone needs to take it very seriously. But before I show you some of the things that we have done, I just want to show you a little bit about my sundial. And there's the boss this morning. You know, you guys know I must have a lot of time on my hands. So you see the sun here, and I said this before, I can pretty much tell the time by the sun. So if you count up 9 lines, when that sun is right on that 9th line, it's 9 a.m. And it goes about 2 lines every hour. So it's on right now, the next line over. So if you look at the your watch right now, it's 9:30. It's just amazing how this is so accurate. So basically by 12:30, it's outside column, which is right here. So by 12:30, the entire 2-meter overhang is under shade. Yeah. And the other day we had some subscribers here, and the sun was out here, and I was telling the story of I can tell the time. And they said, well, what time is it now? Because one of the guys had a watch on. And I said, it's 1:30. And it was like 1:25 p.m. I was off by 5 minutes. So you could definitely tell the time. But, you know, really, what do you need to prepare for a large storm? Now, obviously, you want to make sure you have enough water and all that. And I told you guys in yesterday's video, we already did that. We went shopping, bought a bunch of water, you know, so inside the home, we're ready to go in case the storm does change course. But what should you do on the outside? So obviously, I would park my truck up far into the carport as I can. You know, potentially moving some of these plants inside. Wilma and I already talked about that. And obviously, you know, the folding chairs and anything that's really loose, we would just secure it, more than likely just simply inside. But I want to show you the generator, because if we lose power, obviously the generator is going to get a lot of use. And I've already done a little video on this. We're really glad that we have this generator. There's a lot of better ones out there. This is gasoline. They have diesel. It's 6,500 watts. That's starting watts. It's 6,000 continuous. And I think I showed you in many videos ago, we can basically run the entire house on this. We had all the air cons on. It runs the pump for our water. It runs the pump for the pool. So this is fine for us. So obviously you need to have enough fuel. So you can see I have it good and full. Holds, I think, I believe it's 7 gallons. And then I have some ready reserve. Now we don't run the generator with the fuel right there. We're just storing it there. but that's another a little over 5 gallons. So we feel that we have quite a bit. Now, how long will that last? No, it goes by how much draw, obviously. But I'm going to say between the full tank and that, I'm going to say about 30 hours. That's a guess, guys. So we have about 30 hours of power, and we don't run the generator at night. I use the, try to be nice to the neighbor method. What we do is we don't turn it on until 8 a.m. Just in case people are sleeping. And then we wouldn't even run it all day. It's really to make sure that our food stays frozen. So we'd probably run it like 3 hours in the morning, then maybe give it 3 hours rest and put it back on for 3 hours. And then we wouldn't run it past 8 p.m. Now that's just us. But that's how we would handle it, just to make sure that we have power throughout the day and that our food stays intact. And I'd be able to run the pool for probably like 3 hours, which I normally do now, and make sure that we have enough water in our storage tank and things like that. But talk a little bit about the transfer switch. This is real important. So the wire for the generator, it's very simple. It just plugs in. And it runs under the concrete. And yes, we're going to paint the floor here. It's another project. You can see that we have quite a few switches here. So for our water pump, 1-horse water pump that feeds, pressurizes our water with our water tank with our 1,500 liter water storage, here's a circuit breaker for that, as well as the on-off switch. So that's operational for the water. Then there's another circuit breaker, and all the wires are embedded in the concrete. And then here's an on-off switch, and that is for the pool pump. So we didn't want to, every time we turn on and off, use the circuit breaker for the pump. We have a switch. So we could use that if we want, but we use the switch for on and off. But this is the transfer switch for the generator. And it's very important that if you have a generator in your home, you have a transfer switch. And I'll tell you why. The main line, so you can see, and I'll do a quick zoom, you can see our pole with our transformer. And our meter is right out there as well. So the main line runs underground up through the concrete here and comes up inside the wall, all through conduit, to this transfer switch. And then the main line comes in here, and then it breaks off into two. This is the main circuit breaker, 100 amp, and then it feeds up and then over to the main panel. So right now is on the on position, which is up, and the generator is on the off position. You can see this here, the slide. So if this is on, you cannot turn this circuit breaker on. It doesn't allow you to do that. And you can see you can't slide it over until this is flipped. So it's very, very important when you lose power that you have to turn your main circuit breaker off, which I'm not going to do because it's going to shut off all the power. Then you can switch this over, and now allows you to turn on the circuit breaker for the generator. And the reason for that is when you fire up this generator and you have the circuit breaker on and you have the wire plugged in, electricity is not only going to flow into the home. If you don't have this transfer switch, it could also backfeed to the pole. And if it does that, it electrifies the line out there with the electric from this generator. So if someone from the RICO who is saying that we're out of power, there's no power to the line because of a brownout, and he goes and does some kind of work there, he could be electrocuted. So that's why it's very, very important not just to backfeed your generator into like a socket or do it incorrectly. You really need a transfer switch, and this is like the cheapest transfer switch you can buy, but it's effective. So you're forced to turn off the main switch this over, and then now you can flip this up. And then obviously the power from the generator will now go through this circuit up into the house and only feed the house and not backfeed into the transformer. So what do you think, Wilma? You may have to move some plants, maybe?
Yes, I hope not.
Yeah, we hope not. But we may have to.
We may have to.
So we'll just have to keep an eye on it, guys. But the storm is coming west and north, so it's heading that way. But it's pretty far from us right now. So if it stays on its course, we should be okay. Just people in northern Luzon will probably get a lot of wind and rain. Real quick, to show you some of Wilma's handiwork. Wilma did this on her own, and we got to get this painted out here. Take a look. She used the paint, the same paint, the sand dune, as the fence. She used it right here. Look how good that looks. So now we're starting to work on the patio area. So all this raw concrete needs to be taken care of, and believe it or not, we're still not 100% convinced that we bought the right paint. So we're gonna go back to, I think today, one more trip to, I think we're going to Triumph Home Depot because we really wanna make sure that we get the right type of paint for the patio area. We're dodging the raindrops. So right now the laser beam is out, but it rained here pretty heavy yesterday. And look at the pool. I mean, it's what, 3 inches from overflowing. So I have to do a possible backwash if we get any more rain. But we are going with the gray. We don't want the lighter color, but I think we're gonna go and possibly invest in the good stuff at Triumph Home Depot, and we'll show you what that is. We may have to take back that epoxy. I read the epoxy, and nowhere on the can does it say UV protected. So I'm a little nervous. The stuff that I bought for the dirty kitchen does say it, but it's watery and I don't really care for it too much. So I don't want to use that out here. But the island epoxy that I bought says it's for heavy traffic areas and things like that, but it doesn't say on the can UV protection. And this is going to get sun all year long. So I think we're going to take back the island epoxy. Here we go.
More shopping.
More shopping, but that's okay. We'll get the right stuff, and then what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to start here. We're going to do this little area, the shower area, and then this little strip right here. Knock that out, and then just watch for maybe a few days and see how it looks, and then we'll go from there. So another trip off to the store, and then we'll have to keep an eye on this storm, and I'll give you guys updates as the storm passes by. All right, we're back from shopping. I told you we were gonna go to Triumph Home Depot and try to find the correct paint for our patio around the pool. So I think we did it. We got a deck proofing. It's that same brand, Primero, but it's a different type. It's for decks. And what I seen that I liked about it, see where it says UV resistant? That did not show up on the other one that I had. It also says that it's flexible and it's good for foot traffic. And then when you read the instructions, it has on there that it's for swimming pools. You can use it for roof decks and swimming pools, and for concrete, of course. So we figured that that would work out really well, especially the fact that it says UV protection, and it's for swimming pools. So this is the color. I don't know if the camera will show that or not, but it's a real nice gray. That's going to be very similar to the gray that's already out there with the raw concrete. So my thought process is the fact that it's very close to the color of the concrete, I think I'll use less coats to get full coverage. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's only going to be 2 coats, And if it is, then we'll go back over with a third coat of the clear as well, because that also says that it's UV resistant. And then the last thing I want to share with you guys today is we're heading to Dumageddon, leaving Darwin, and it was a checkpoint. And very rarely do I ever get stopped at a checkpoint. Now, we had the truck, and like I said, I've been through 50 checkpoints, and only been stopped one time here, a long time ago with my scooter. So basically almost 100% I don't get stopped. Well, they stopped us today, and they were out on the road and stopped us, and we opened up the window, and he said, "Ma'am," to Wilma, because it was on the driver's side, "are you hauling any baboys?" Which is Bisaya for pigs. And I'm like, excuse me? Wilma said, excuse me? It's like, yeah, are you hauling any pigs over municipal lines? And they could see that we had a pickup truck, and there's nothing in the back, and I guess he just wanted to check the back seat to see if we were hauling any boys over municipal lines. So we figured that was a kind of an odd question to ask, and we started laughing, and then he laughed. And then he said, "You're free to go." So that was our checkpoint today. So we're very happy that we found our paint for the patio. So now it's all about looking for a good sunny day, do one more power wash, and then we're going to get a couple of coats on it, and I'll show you what it looks like.